Are you coming to Rome in March? On today's video, I'm going to share with you what you can expect when you visit Rome in March, what the weather's like, what to pack, how you should dress, things to do, and what you can expect. So first, let's talk about the weather in Rome in March. I've lived in Rome since 2001, and it never fails. Every year on March 1st, I think, oh, it's the beginning of spring, because March is a spring month, right? Technically, most of March is a winter month. And the reality is that the beginning of March in Rome never feels like spring. It feels like winter. I don't know about you, but by March, I'm kind of getting ready for spring. And I'm starting to get a little bit tired of the cold, blustery, sometimes rainy days that we have those first few weeks of March. March is indeed a rainy month, so you should plan for that. Sometimes we can even get sleet and even hail. This doesn't mean that it's going to rain the entire time you're here in March, but it can, so you should plan for it. And don't get me wrong, March can be full of beautiful blue sky sunny days. In fact, the cold and sometimes the wind means that our blue sky days are even bluer somehow. But this cold kind of wintry weather that we have means that it's still sort of low season in Rome at the beginning of March. As we get closer to the end of March and the beginning of spring, the weather starts to turn a little bit more spring-like. But even as spring begins, those last 10 days of March, don't plan on it being too warm. Which brings us to how to pack for visiting Rome in March and what to wear. No matter which part of March you come to Rome, you should plan to layer. This time of year, we can have really cold mornings and nights, but the days can get pretty warm to the point where you want to start taking off some of your layers. So at the beginning of March, I would wear some kind of a sweater or jumper underneath your jacket. Towards the end of March, you could wear a lighter top, but either way, you're going to want to have that jacket. As I've suggested in some of my other videos about visiting Rome in winter or rainy months, I would suggest that when you visit Rome in March, you bring with you one of those hiking jackets that has a waterproof outside and a removable shell or lining. When you visit Rome in March, I think you should bring one pair of waterproof shoes and another pair of regular comfortable closed-toed shoes like trainers or sneakers. And because March is a rainy month, I would suggest bringing with you a travel umbrella. Yes, you can certainly buy an umbrella here if it starts to rain, but why not invest in a decent travel umbrella that you can use even after your trip to Rome? No matter which part of March you are visiting Rome, you should always have with you a scarf. First of all, it's one of those things that will make you sort of fit in with the Romans. Romans love to wear scarves year-round, but obviously it's going to be good for keeping you warm and dry as well. In the beginning of March in Rome, I would say to wear a wool or cashmere scarf, whereas towards the second half of March, you could wear a lighter scarf like a cotton or a silk scarf. For more ideas about how to pack for your trip to Rome in March, check out my page on the Romewise website. I also have two packing videos, one for how to pack for visiting Rome in winter, and the other for how to pack for visiting Rome in spring. The number one factor for what you should pack and how to dress when you visit Rome any time of year is to be comfortable. And in my opinion, that pertains most of all to shoes. Most people say that they find they've done so much more walking in Rome than they had imagined, so you want to make sure that your shoes are super comfortable and already broken in. So what can you expect when you visit Rome in March apart from the weather? As I mentioned, those first few weeks in March are wintry and the weather is wintry, so it's still kind of a low season. If you're visiting Rome on a budget, this is a great time of year to find lower airfares and hotel deals. March is not quite high season yet, but you should plan for crowds. However, whether you plan to visit the beginning of March when it should be sort of a little bit low season or the second half of March when we're starting to get towards high season, I suggest you book your visits in advance. Most importantly, I would suggest booking the Colosseum and the Vatican in advance. Yes, these are two sites that you can just show up and buy tickets on the same day. However, the Colosseum does have a limit as to how many people can visit at a given time. The limit is 3,000 people at once. They also do sell out of tickets for a given day. The Vatican doesn't really sell out of tickets, but both the Colosseum and the Vatican are going to have long lines at the ticket counters. So I think to avoid stress and avoid waiting in long lines and wasting your vacation time, I would suggest booking these sites in advance. On this channel, I have a playlist with videos all about the Colosseum. I have another one with videos all about the Vatican, so you can check those out for ideas about which kinds of tickets and tours to book. In the description below, I'm linking to the official websites for both the Colosseum and the Vatican, so you can book directly if you like. Where restaurants are concerned, there is no such thing as low season for restaurants. The good ones are popular with Romans too, so if there is a restaurant where you really want to eat, you should book this in advance. On the other hand, I know many of you do not like to book restaurants in advance. You want to just walk around and find something. You will never be without some place to eat in Rome. But if you are something of a foodie and you've been studying these restaurants where you want to eat, then I would suggest booking at least one or two of them in advance. I also have a page on the Romewise website with things to book in advance and how far in advance to book them. So if you are a somewhat organized trip planner, I suggest checking out that page. March is a month with a lot of important dates and events. First of all, the very beginning of March could be the end of Carnival, so you'll see some remnants of confetti in the streets. Every February and March, there are 3 Six Nations rugby matches held in Rome. So if you're visiting Rome in March on a weekend, you might want to check the schedules to see if there's a rugby match while you're here. In the description below, I'm linking to the website for Six Nations Rugby so you can check out their schedule. An important date celebrated not just in Italy but in many parts of the world is International Women's Day, March 8th. It's not a bank holiday and nothing is closed, but it is a widely recognized date. You will see mimosa flowers everywhere, and it's something you can give to the woman in your life if you like. March 9th is the feast day for Santa Francesca Romana. She founded an order called the Olivetan Oblates of Mary. Eventually, she also founded the Tor de Specchi monastery right near Capitoline Hill. This monastery is open one day a year, March 9th, her feast day. It's free for everyone, but you should expect crowds and long lines. But believe me, if you can get inside, this monastery is absolutely worth a visit. The stunning paintings by Antoniazzo Romano are worth the visit alone. March 15th is the Ides of March, the date that Julius Caesar was assassinated in 44 BCE. There's usually a reenactment of the event at Largo Argentina, which is where the assassination occurred, and usually also some sort of a commemoration in the Roman Forum near his altar. There's an association here in Rome called the Gruppo Storico Romano, something like the Roman History Group. They get up in full costume and they commemorate important dates in the Rome calendar, like April 21st, Rome's birthday, and 15th of March, the Ides of March, the assassination of Julius Caesar. I'm linking to their website. You can check that out to find out the schedule for what events they have planned to celebrate or to commemorate the Ides of March. In Italy, March 19th is Father's Day. This date is actually known in Italy as San Giuseppe, Saint Joseph, named for probably the most famous father in a Catholic tradition. For me, the best thing about this holiday are the pastries associated with it. These pastries are called bignè di San Giuseppe. These pastries are super decadent, so it's a good thing you can only find them in March. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, most of March is winter, but March 20th is the first day of spring. From sometime in early March towards the middle of March, you're going to start seeing crocuses and daffodils for sale at some of the flower markets. But since March is not so much a spring month, it's really not the month to look for a lot of flowers just yet. There'll be those mimosas for March 8th, International Women's Day, and you might see a little bit of wisteria towards the end of March, but the flowers are really coming in April and May. And finally, on the last weekend of March, we move from standard time to daylight saving time. This means that we move the clocks ahead and lose 1 hour. Be aware of this if you have plans for the last Sunday morning in March. One more thing that could happen at the end of March, although sometimes it happens at the beginning of April, is the Rome Marathon. I've got the link for that in the description below so you can check the date for when it's being held in a given year. I also have an ebook all about visiting Rome in March. There you'll find all the things I'm talking about in this video, including what the weather's like, what to pack, things to do, and my 3-day itinerary that's tailored for visiting Rome in March. I'm linking to this ebook in the description below, along with links to my Rome in Winter and Rome in Spring photo books. Foods that are in season this time of year include artichokes. They are still very much in season. We still have a lot of those winter vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, chicory. And this time of year, we start to see asparagus and strawberries showing up in the markets. There is a very particular green to get in early spring, agretti. Agretti look like grass, they taste like spinach, and they're a very local, seasonal thing to eat in Rome. No matter when Easter is, you are going to start seeing Easter-related foods in Rome this time of year. This includes, of course, chocolate Easter eggs, but you're also going to start seeing colomba. Colomba means dove, and these breads are supposed to look like a dove. To me, they look sort of like a plump cross. And the bread is something like panettone, but not quite. It's a different recipe. Like panettone for Christmas, the best colombe are going to be the ones that you get at a pastry shop where they've been handmade. You can also buy them at the grocery store. They're a little bit more industrial and not quite as delicious. Also, a little bit like panettone, you can get them with different flavors, sometimes with chocolate chips or with candy dried fruits or pistachio or something like this. So what are some things you can do in Rome in March? March is a cool month throughout, even as we get towards early spring. That means that this is ideal sightseeing weather. So one of the best things you can do in Rome this time of year is to be a tourist. Go out and visit the sites, walk around on foot, and soak up the beautiful atmosphere that's not quite crowded yet. Lately, you've been able to find places to eat outdoors year-round in Rome. I mean, a lot of restaurants are putting out heat lamps, but by March, you're going to start to see more and more places where you can eat outside. Most of those famous Rome rooftop bars start to open what they call the beginning of the season, so that can be towards the end of March. There's not a specific date. You just have to check to see if a given rooftop bar that you want to visit is open. The rooftop bars are really more in full swing in, say, April and May, but in March, you can try. One that I know is open year-round is the Hotel Nove Cesari. And while it's not a rooftop bar, you can visit the beautiful patio space of the Hotel de Russi year-round. The hours for the Vatican stay the same throughout the year. For example, the Vatican museums are now open 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and St. Peter's Basilica is open daily from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The Colosseum, Roman Forum, and Palatine Hill, on the other hand, change their hours according to the season. In winter, the Parco Colosseo, this is the park that includes the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, and the Palatine Hill, closes early at 4:30 p.m. And in summer, when the days are longest, the park is open until 7:30 p.m. March is an interesting month. Check the Colosseum website for details, but what happens in March is that the Colosseum starts staying open just an hour later, so they close at 5:30 p.m. for most of the month of March. However, right when we hit daylight saving time, so that last Sunday in March, the Colosseum stays open until 7:30 p.m. I know many of you are wondering when the Colosseum is going to start offering night tours and if they're offering them in March. The answer is we don't know. I moved here in 2001, and in the many years that I've lived here, the Colosseum night tours have never been consistent. There can be a variety of reasons for this, but the bottom line is that we really don't know when they're going to start up the night tours of the Colosseum in early spring. Sometimes they've started them in March, other times it's been April, and sometimes it's been June. So you just have to keep checking on the Colosseum website to see if they are offering night tours. Other things to do in March include visiting sites on the free Sunday. On the first Sunday of every month, state-run sites like the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, Castel Sant'Angelo are free for everyone. And just because I said the beginning of March is sort of low season, do not count on the free Sunday to be a quiet day. The Colosseum always has lines on the free Sunday, so if you want to visit the Colosseum on the free Sunday in March, I suggest what they suggest themselves. The Colosseum suggests that you go after 1 p.m. Actually, what I really suggest you do on the free Sunday is to visit a museum or site that is a little bit less popular. For example, Ossiantica and the Baths of Caracalla are both free on the free Sunday, and they are superb examples of Roman architecture. So if you want to see Roman architecture on the free Sunday, go to those sites and avoid the long lines and the crowds. Specific to Rome, city-run sites are also free on the free Sunday. So this includes the Capitoline Museums, Trajan's Market, and the Arapashis. The Capitoline Museums will always have a line on the free Sunday, but I suggest you visit Trajan's Market. It's one of my favorite museums in Rome, and I have literally never seen more than a handful of people in there, even on the free Sunday. For more ideas for things to do in Rome in March, check out my page on the Romewise website called March Events in Rome. I've linked to it in the description below. Have I convinced you? Do you think you'll visit Rome in March? Drop me a line in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And if you are worried about the crowds in Rome coming towards the second half of March, check out my video right here.